Now this is a bowl of 140 grams of carbohydrates, and if you've spent any time online, you'd think this is exactly how I get fat, right? But the truth is that is one of the biggest myths that you believe in the fitness industry. Because carbs were never the thing making you fat. It's where they end up which is the problem, and that's completely in your control. Now here's what most lads are doing. Someone has told you that carbohydrates are the enemy, so you've cut them right down. You're training on empty, flat as a pancake, no pump, no energy, dreading the next session. And you're still not truly lean. You just feel flat and soft. Or you start eating them again, but you end up a bit softer. And so you're saying, see, carbohydrates make me fat. And so you spend years battling on how much you can actually eat in order to get full and look pumped without spilling over and getting soft. Never once realizing that carbs were never the problem themselves. And here's the bit that nobody actually explains. No coach, no guru, no fitness influencer. The exact same bowl of carbs can go to one of two places in your body. Into your muscle, where it makes you fuller, leaner and stronger in the gym, or into fat stores. Same carbs, two completely different destinations. So what is it that decides where they go? One thing, how sensitive you are to insulin. That is the dial that you need to work on turning up. And once you do that, the carbs are going to start working for you. That is the whole trick. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do in order to turn that dial up. Think of your muscles like a warehouse, and the carbs are deliveries turning up at the door. Insulin sensitivity is basically how good your staff are at getting those deliveries onto the shelves. Train hard, stay lean, and you've got a full crew. Everything's getting stocked, your muscle looks fuller, you even look leaner, and you're performing better in the gym. And that's off eating the same food. Let yourself go soft and do the opposite of what I speak about in this video, and you're training like a pussy, and those deliveries will just pile up in the yard. And that pile, boys, that's your body fat stores. And it absolutely spirals. The softer you get, the worse it gets. But turn it around and it will turn around just as fast. Train properly, get lean, and that dial will climb back up in weeks. So that mate who seems to stay lean and eat a bunch of food, he's not any different to you. He's just got that machinery turned up, and you can do the exact same. If you watch this video to the end, you'll never have to worry about carbs making you fat ever again, because I'm going to talk about the exact mechanism that improves your insulin sensitivity, which is what means you can build muscle and stay shredded. And I'm going to cover the 3 levers that you need to make sure are in check in order to mean that you can eat this many carbs and stay peeled. The carbs need to be working for you, boys, and right now they're working against you. And getting lean first is the whole game. Now that's free game, boys, so let's get cracking. Bang. Right, good bloody morning, everyone. It is actually currently 5:56 a.m. I wouldn't usually be able to speak this loud because my parents would be asleep, but they're out at the moment. So I'm up, I'm ready. So we have our pre-workout meal. I'm going to blend like a full day of eating into this as well, just so that you can see what I do eat on a training day. We have a bag of microwavable rice, which is 250 grams. 1 can of tuna with some like ketchup mixed into there. I know it sounds gnarly. I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to get the fuel in. And then 4 caramel Snacker Jacks, 10 grams of peanut butter split across those 2, 30 grams of jam split across the other 2. So we've got some fast digesting carbs, we've got some slower digesting carbs, a source of protein just for a little hit of protein for the protein synthesis throughout the workout, some super fast digesting carbs obviously from your jams, some fructose, and then a bit of peanut butter to sort of slow down the release of the faster digesting carbs and absorbing carbs in order to mean that it can sort of slowly drip throughout my bloodstream for my workout, so I have some nice sustained energy. But yeah, feeling pretty good. That was definitely not 8 hours of sleep. Holy shit. My brain just wakes me up at like 5:30 pretty much every day, regardless of when I go to bed. At the moment, I think it's like cortisol mainly. Like I wake up like wired, thinking like, shit, what do I need to do today, blah blah blah. If you don't know, full-time online coach, 21 years old. That comes with a lot of like, you know, you're managing people and stuff, which obviously I'm super grateful for. Not really like managing people, just like always trying to help, you know, people get better, always trying to help my service get better as well. And I truly see Project Relentless being at the top of this game, mark my words from this YouTube video, with the relentless work that I put into it. It's going to happen, and so I think it's inevitable that my brain just wakes me up trying to get my day going, because time waits for no man. So yeah, I eat this usually around 6 o'clock. I go on a digestion walk for that sort of hour in between now and training after I've eaten this. I'll go on a nice little digestion walk, catch up on messages from the team, clear my Instagram stories, all of that fun stuff. So let's fucking get into it. Let's be relentless and let's kick on with the day. Right now, rule 101 of being a highly effective performer in the gym is taking some performance enhancing drugs. Pre-workout. That's all I'm talking about is pre-workout. So yeah, I do love good quality pre-workout. Currently I'm just using performance pre-workout. I've used, you know, more well, higher, stronger stuff in the past, but for now I've settled in my UNC status with this stuff, and it works really well. I do 22 grams every time. MVP pre is the GOAT, if you know, you know. And then I'll do a scoop of pump as well. So I think that's like over 350 milligrams of caffeine. So fair amount of stims. If you ain't stimming, you ain't winning. Increase your blood flow, increase cognitive function, increase your ability to perform. Why wouldn't you, right? Pre-workout is fucking goated, unless you're training in the evenings, which I don't, obviously I train in the morning. Caffeine can genuinely increase your performance a shit ton. So why wouldn't you do that, right? So, gonna down this. Intra workout is made up as well. I'll run that through in the gym. Then we'll head to the gym and get into the fucking pool sesh. Let's get it. Right, we're gonna mark up for this pool day. So let's fucking get it. Do you know what? I feel absolutely fucked today. Really and truly. But we're gonna get it nonetheless. Just did a warm-up set and I literally feel like a fucking skeleton. But when you master the ability to just train fucking relentlessly hard, regardless of how you feel, it's when you unlock a next level look, because every single set counts. And you can't let your emotions or how you feel get in the way of that, right? So let's look in, starting off with lat pull down. Now obviously a huge emphasis of this video is being able to grow muscle while staying lean. The biggest thing you can do to dictate that, or one of the biggest things you can do to dictate that, is how hard you fucking train. So again, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, I feel like ass. I could easily slack off this session, but if I slack off this session, do I deserve 3,400 calories on a training day, for example? Probably not, so we're just gonna fucking nail it. Lat pull down, I'll be checking on my phone how many reps I need to do. Progressive overload is key. Let's fucking do it. Right, now I am semi-aware of how wild this gym outfit is, but nonetheless, doesn't fucking matter when you're jacked. Chicken and chips. Right, T-bar row, this is probably one of the heftiest movements of the whole thing, so obviously putting it towards the front of the session. 3 sets in here, all to failure, heavy fucking weight. Top set is the heaviest one. Quite like, yeah buddy, the form will be slack. But again, rip apart some fucking weight, as long as you can feel it in your back, sound. And the main objective, train hard as fuck. That is how you grow. So much overthinking out there. And that's why people stay skinny as fuck. So yeah, just 2 plates for a little warm up. Oh yeah. Right, we have the epitome of a top set. 4 plates in here. I need to get 11 reps in order to progress. And you'll see what that fucking requires. This is my point entirely. I feel fucked. My body will not want to progress on this set. Make sure your preset is nailed, visualize the set going well, get a good amount of oxygen in, spike your adrenaline, and then just make it a non-fucking negotiable. It's gonna hurt, it's gonna be shit. But if you want to grow muscle, you have to tell your body to grow the muscle. Let's fucking get it. Right, top set, successful as you would have seen. Messy, a bit of yeah body, but I will definitely do a couple of sets like that, especially on a pool day. Big believer, train hard, get fucking big. And then I'll do my controlled like unilateral work, which you'll see shortly. But taking off a plate, put on a 5, so this is now 65 kilo. Last session it was 60 kilo for 16 reps. So I've upped the weight a little bit this time, so obviously that's quite a high rep range. And you'll see on this one, instead of having my feet here, which obviously sort of allows me to put quite a lot of tension through glutes, hamstrings, erector spine A to like give that yeah body row effect. This one's a bit more isolated, put my feet behind me like this, so it's like purely like pulling through my back. And yeah, the rep range 12 to 15 will be sound. Now, another thing worth mentioning actually is your digestion time. I was in a bit of a rush this morning, right? Obviously you would have seen the pre-workout meal, which is actually a bit of film now on another day. Long story, I'm not gonna go into it. Probably had a little bit too little digestion time, so I'm dealing with a little bit of bloating right now. Now, you wanna make sure that your pre-workout meal is digesting really well, because you want all of that blood flow to be going to your muscles, not your digestive system. So always leave it 60, 90 minutes, general rule of thumb. Make sure it's properly settled in your stomach, digestion walk, all of that fun stuff. Again, if you wanna build muscle and not, gain fat, you've got to make sure your training is spot on. If your digestion's even getting in the way of that, could be adding up over the weeks and months, right? So make sure that's sorted. Anyhow, let's go. Last set on there, we'll go on neutral grip now. That's what I do, is I put these in closer. And then put the wrists facing towards each other to really nail those lower lats. So 60 kilo, still pretty fucking heavy, right? Every single one of these sets is heavy, hard, painful, takes it out of me entirely. That's how training should be. If you're going in, you're doing some fucking lat pull downs, getting a pump, you're never gonna look impressive. It has to be hard. Right, unilateral work, so single arm stuff, this is where I'll be like way more controlled, fucking nail my lower lat. And yeah, go pretty heavy as well. Once you get good at like connecting with your lat, like literally being able to like contract it like I am now, and you get really strong in that position, you grow some big fucking lats. So basically it's a mixture of the yeah buddy stuff and then some more controlled stuff like this, where I just fucking nailed each muscle, right? So yeah, let's get into it. Just because it's controlled and single arm doesn't mean it has to be any less intense. So I'm gonna fucking gun it. I've already done my left side, but I can't film from that angle, so you'll see this one.
The whole rugby team, the lads, and the thing.
Right, Kessel row, rear delt, rhomboids, traps. all of my upper back work in pretty much 2 sets, to be fair. I like to keep this super nice and simple. I don't do rear delt flyers anymore. Just found I can never really get the best connection. So instead, if I do a row that is like purely ripping apart my upper back by keeping, you know, my elbows super wide, flared, then that's plenty enough for me, and I'll just continue to progress that. So I'll show you what this looks like. Need to get 10. Big scapular protraction as well, a lot of stretch, and then a big squeeze at the top. So obviously I've shifted right back on the pad, right? So it's like pretty much chin to fucking weight. Right, biceps, no time to slow down. Feeling absolutely fucked, of course. Probably sit in my face, bro. Look a bit green. That's my life right now, word. But you got to push through nonetheless. This is exactly my point. 20 kilos, need to get, I believe 25 reps total. This is going to be fucking hard. Pretty fucking, pretty well. Right, it is time for the post-workout meal of gods. This is a 140 gram carb meal. So we have a bucket full of chocolate orange, Perform flavored cream of rice. Right, if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much just blended up rice with some flavorings, which I put boiling water in to volumize it and then chuck it in the freezer to make sure it's nice and cold. So this is like a huge ass dessert, bro. Unbelievable scenes. And then we get 150 grams of frozen fruit that has been defrosted on there as well. Marks and Spencer's edition, bro. I think this shit set me back like fucking 10 pounds probably. That is already some very nice presentation. I'm gonna do two go-ahead, I usually do two caramel Snacker Jacks, which are rice cakes, but I don't have any. So we're gonna go with two go-ahead bars, which are actually very similar in calories and carbohydrates. It's literally just like a cracker with some raisins. So carbohydrates, right, not ideal. I would usually rather just be strict with the post-workout meal. And then we're gonna do 40 grams of this week, or today, peanut butter and jam flavored whey protein, which is a slapper poured on top. So I will show you the final product. But ultimately, I mean, looking at the session that I've just gone and done, you can probably have a sort of perspective as to how I get to eat this much food after the gym. You know, it's a big meal, right? I'm either doing cream of rice or cereal usually. Cereal normally works up to around 225 grams, bearing in mind like a serving of cereal is 30 grams, okay? So yeah, normally like just below 1,000 calories post-workout. And that is because I've absolutely hammered myself in the gym, right? Not inherently saying you need to eat a bunch of fucking food. It's the right type of food, right? Which is carbohydrates. And ultimately, post-workout, that is to replenish your glycogen stores, which I can literally feel in my muscles are depleted AF. Like I feel shaky almost because I train so fucking hard. To then lower your cortisol, right? The stress hormone, the stress response from training, which will happen naturally, which then basically says to your body, right, recovery time, game flipping on, let's do this. Pair that with some nice, easy, fast digesting protein, which obviously comes from the whey itself. And you've got a recipe for success, okay? But the main objective is definitely, you know, tell your body it's time to recover, feed up, okay? And then you'll see the rest of the meals throughout the day are still, you know, good amount of carbs and stuff like that. But obviously this is the main hard hitter. I'll always emphasize your peri-workout nutrition does need to be nailed, right? Your pre-workout meal, your post-workout meal, keep it as a tight variable, bro. I've eaten this same thing every day for years. It's just different amounts, right? Depending on if I'm cutting or dieting. So obviously with this meal, pretty much zero fat sources as well. And that is because we don't really want anything to slow down the digestion. We just want this to, boom, sink straight in, digest, glycogen stores refilled, protein shuttled into the muscle, bang. So yeah, that's the point of this. I'll show you this meal once it is done. And here it is in all its glory, a huge ass bowl of cream of rice, whey drip, go ahead bar, which is new, crumpled up on top, and some fresh frozen fruit. So we have 130 grams of cream of rice, 40 grams of peanut butter and jam flavored whey protein, 150 grams of frozen fruit, and two go ahead bars, which is like 100 calories worth sprinkled on top for some texture contrast. Again, very important to make it enjoyable so that you stick to the process long term, right? So that is the post-workout meal. Obviously, like I said, main objective, get the fucking carbs in. I'm going to sit here, enjoy this for sure, and then I'll catch you in the rest of the meals, and also break down the importance of insulin sensitivity, nutrient partitioning, and being able to eat a shit ton of carbs without getting fat. Right, so you've just watched me eat a shit ton of food, go and train really hard, and then pile in the carbs afterwards with 140 gram carbohydrate post-workout meal, which is more than some people are eating within a whole day. And you're probably sat there thinking, how is he eating all of this and still staying lean? So let me sit down and actually explain it, because once this clicks, carbs won't be the enemy ever again, and you'll actually know what to do with them. And this is the bit that nobody is explaining properly. And trust me, on our game, boys, I've been 103 kilo at 17 years old with no idea what to do other than just eating more food, which had me fat and unconfident. I've crash dieted, I've done dirty bulks, I've made every mistake under the sun, and now I pretty much know the macros of every single food off by heart. So yeah, it's got a bit extreme, but I'm very glad that I know exactly what to do with food now. Hence why I got to win the natural bodybuilding shows at 19 years old. And the whole reason that I can eat like this, and the whole reason that I get all of my clients shredded or help them build muscle without gaining fat, is this one thing that I'm about to give you. So just sit down, give me 5 minutes, and I'll explain it all. If you watch to the end of this video, you'll know the exact pillars in order to mean that you can actually eat a shit ton of food without getting fat and put on some muscle. Now, if you take one thing from this video, please make it be this: every gram of carbs you eat can go to one of two places: into your muscle or into fat stores. Same carbohydrate, two different destinations. It doesn't really matter what type of carbohydrate it is. And the thing that decides where it goes is how sensitive you are to insulin. Insulin's basically a hormone that turns up when you eat carbs and dictates where those carbs are actually going to go in your body. If you're insulin sensitive, it will shuttle those carbs into muscle. You get fuller, you get stronger, you even look leaner as the muscle begins to pop more, and your performance will improve in the gym as well. But if you're insulin resistant, then the exact same carb is way more likely to be stored as fat. And that's the trick that everyone's chasing. It's not a hack, it's not a random supplement, it's just the actual mechanism that no one bothers to explain to you. So the question shouldn't even be, should I be eating more carbs? It's more so, how can I turn that dial up to mean that the carbs that I do eat go to the right places? And there are three main levers that you can pull, and I'm gonna give all three of them to you for free. Now, lever number one, and it is the biggest one, is training. That session you just watched me do isn't just burning calories, it's doing two things at once. Number one, it's emptying the tank. In a short summary, you're burning through the carbs that are in the muscle, so now there's actual room and demand for more. And number two, and this is the bit that people completely miss, a hard session actually cranks your insulin sensitivity right up for hours. Think of it as your muscle basically turning into a sponge. So that big carb meal that I ate post-workout, it's gone towards my muscle instead of fat stores. And that's because I earned it, boys. I opened that door first. That's why earning your food isn't just some random saying. Like, it actually has meaning to it. It's literally what's happening in your body. So you wonder why you go into the gym, do a couple sets of curls, chase a pump, take a flick in the mirror, probably burn fuck all calories, haven't opened that door for the carbs whatsoever. You get home, you eat a bunch of squares bars, have a protein shake, and then you end up looking flat and soft. So for you, the answer to getting soft isn't just cut the carbs, it's actually train hard enough so that you can actually deserve them. Now, lever two is your body fat level, and I'll be real, this one might hit a little bit hard for some of you lads. The leaner you are, the more insulin sensitive you are. It's as simple as that. Basically, the better you handle the carbohydrates. Now, inevitably, the leaner you are, the less food you'll probably be able to eat, as your metabolism will adjust to eating slightly less food, as there's less of you overall. But you are ultimately the most sensitive to carbohydrates and sensitive to insulin. Whereas the softer you get, the more body fat you put on, the more insulin resistant you become. So those same carbohydrates just start defaulting to going towards fat stores, which is a bit annoying, right? Because it's like the fatter you get, the worse you get at handling the exact thing you're blaming for it. Now, this is the exact reason why I'll never take a client into a growth phase if they're starting at quite a high body fat level. I'll always get them lean first in order to mean that they become more insulin sensitive and so their body's actually primed for growth. It also gives us a longer runway in order to mean that we can push food higher over a long period of time, increase strength in the gym, increase progressive overload, increase stimulus on the muscle, which ultimately means more muscle. Everyone just wants to bulk straight away, especially when they start lifting. I'll just eat big and I'll get big muscles. But that is genuinely completely backwards, and I wish that was a mistake that I'd never made. You're pouring those carbohydrates in while the dial is turned down. Get lean first, turn that dial up, improve your habits as well in order to mean that you actually have control over the food you're eating, the habits that you need in order to keep the body fat low, such as expenditure, training really hard, and sticking to your routine. Build the tolerance to the carbohydrates, and then you can actually add the food where it will then go towards muscle. So for you, if you're carrying a bit too much fat now, anything past like the 14% area, I would definitely not be scared of carbohydrates, but I'd look at leaning down first. It's the first lever to pull really. Get lean first, solidify your training, and then you'll be able to put more food in. And the carbs will actually start working for you again. Now, lever three is how much muscle you actually have. Think of your muscle as the storage tank for glycogen, which is carbohydrates. The more muscle you're carrying, the bigger the tank is. And ultimately, the more carbs you can hold before before any of it spills over to fat. That's why these crazy bodybuilders can have ridiculous cheat meals and still stay pretty lean. For an example, if you took me when I competed for the first time, stepped off stage, had a Domino's pizza, that is far more likely to go to fat because it is a bunch of food that I didn't need in comparison to someone who has like 100 kilo of muscle, where there is going to be a lot more tanks to fill, right? And my tanks probably spilled over straight away and it went to fat stores. So the individuals who get to eat more food, they're not lucky. It's not their genetics, probably not their metabolism, although obviously that can have an effect. He's just built that bigger tank and he's got the dial turned up. And that is just going to come from years of training and training really fucking hard. And the exciting part is every single little bit of muscle that you build means that you get to eat more food pretty much. Basically increasing how many carbs you can get away with before it spills over into fat. Problem is you've got a small tank and a turned down dial, so it's just never a recipe for success. And both of those things, ultimately you just have to build slowly over time. So this is not me saying go and eat a bunch of carbs and as long as you train hard, you'll be all right. It does take years of training hard in the gym, building some muscle, but it does mean that the sooner you get on with this, the better, right? And you can gradually start eating more food pretty fucking quickly if you do everything that I've said in this video. And then quickly, two ones that a lot of people are missing would be your sleep and your general expenditure. If you're sleeping like shit and you just sit on your ass all day, your insulin sensitivity is going to tank. The most crucial hormone regulation goes on when you are asleep, like literally everything. And so if you're tanking that just because you're scrolling on your phone, then you are going to be in a worse position hormonally. And then if you sit on your ass all day, you're not doing your steps, you're not staying on top of your cardio, whether you're in a bulk or in a cut, then that is also going to be absolutely screwing your insulin resistance. A general rule of thumb for me and all of my clients is just go on a short walk after every single meal. This is proven to increase insulin sensitivity as well, along with nutrient partitioning into the muscle. Get your digestion in check, make sure you're just moving consistently throughout the day. Don't just think train, eat food, sit on my ass. It needs to be a combination of everything if you want to stay lean and build muscle. Now this part is for anyone who wants the actual science behind it all, so that you can actually get an understanding of what's going on in your body when you eat the carbs. So when you eat carbs, they hit your bloodstream as glucose, and insulin, which is a hormone, gets released in order to deal with it. View insulin as like a key. It docks onto your muscle cells and tells these little glucose doorways to come up to the surface and let the glucose in. And that's pretty much insulin sensitivity in one sentence, how well that key actually works. Insulin resistance, you could view the key as like going rusty almost. Insulin's knocking, but the doors aren't opening properly. So the glucose ends up hanging around in your bloodstream and more of it just gets pushed towards fat stores. And that's why training is your lever one. When you actually contract a muscle, when you train, you can drag those same doors up to the surface without needing insulin at all. That contraction opens the doors by itself. So during and after a hard session, your muscle's pulling glucose through two doors instead of just one. And that process stays switched on for hours, up to a day or two after you've trained in fact. And that's exactly why the post-workout meal is the best sort of timing to get a bunch of carbs in. And on top of that, your skeletal muscle is where the big majority of the glucose gets dealt with in the first place. Muscle is like the main sink for glucose. So the more muscle you carry and the better those doors are functioning, the more carbs just disappear into muscle instead of being turned into those fat stores. More muscle, more doors, leaner body, better working doors. It's as simple as that. Carbs don't turn into fat anywhere near as easy as people actually think they do. The process of your body converting carbs into fat is actually pretty insufficient and minor day to day. What actually makes you fat is being in a unnecessary calorie surplus for a long period of time. Too much total energy going into your body, which means it gets stored as fat. Not necessarily the carbs themselves, but obviously that could be part of it. So when you hear someone saying carbs make you fat, they're just eating way too much food and that's what's making them fat. Once you see it like that, you'll never look at a bowl of cereal the same ever again. Right, so let's bring it all together now. You are not intolerant to carbs. You're not just someone who gets fat off of carbs. What's actually going on is that dial has been turned down because you're probably not training hard enough. You're sitting on your ass all day, your recovery is shit, and you're potentially carrying a bit too much body fat. And the thing is, every single lever that I've just given you is something that you can control. You can make it better. And that's the important bit. It requires discipline. And I could give you the best approach in the world, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to a structure problem. You've been winging it, right? You've been cutting carbs, then you've been adding them back. You've been switching your phases, staying on top of your steps and then falling off over the weekend, panicking when the scale moves, and then just guessing with no plan and no order to fix any of it. Fix those levers in the right sequence and I can guarantee you that you'll be able to get away with eating more carbs before you know it. So if you found that part of the video helpful, then please feel free to drop me a subscribe, boys. I'll post about this every single week to help you boys get jacked while staying lean and simply improving your standards in order to mean that you can achieve that elite level physique. Because trust me, I made every mistake under the sun and I wouldn't want you to do the same. Right, we have got lovely meal 3 being cooked up. Time for the notorious omelette flip. Fuck. Oh yeah. Just splashed all over my arm. Okay, so 2 whole eggs, 200 grams of egg whites, some jalapenos in there as well. So obviously some fat sources from the egg yolks, but mainly some lean protein with the egg whites in there as well. Volumize that nicely by making it a omelette, cooking that up. And then we have 6 Snacker Jacks, sour cream and chai flavor, 37 calories each, 6 of them with 30 grams of low calorie mustard on top of there. And then I'm gonna cook up half of a courgette as well. And then I'll put that on top of the rice cakes. Bang of fucking meal, getting creative with my food out here. But yeah, obviously getting some carbs in from the rice cakes as well. Serious banger. Hey, look at that. Presentation on that thing, my God. So next meal, 2 whole eggs, 200 gram egg whites, some jalapenos, and then 6 Snacker Jack sour cream and chive rice cakes. Courgette on there and some mustard. Bit of a weird combo, but trust me boys, this is what happens when you stay fucking shredded. You begin to think of these nice little creative food choices, right? So yeah, instead of just shoving food in my mouth, obviously it is all tactical, okay? It serves a purpose. Carbs, veg for your micronutrients, lean protein with some fat sources, healthy fat sources from the eggs, some hot sauce. It's gonna be tasty as fuck. Again, sit here, break up my day. Pretty much my free time within my day as being an online coach is watching YouTube when I eat, and then I'll just get straight back to it, little bits and bobs. So yeah, but very excited for this one indeed, and I'll catch you in the next. Right, did forget to film this one, but we've got the notorious beef mince potato meal, okay? So 225 grams of beef mince, 5% fat of course, and no, I was gonna say 400 grams of potato. That's what I'm normally having in the deep into the growth phase, but just 200 grams of potatoes still, and then 100 grams of beetroot and 100 grams of celery for your veg. So this is one of the smaller meals, but beef mince keeps me nice and full, which is nice. It is my last meal, my pre-bed hitter, which is again full of the carbs. So obviously we're still getting some carbs from the potato here, right? So totaling around 480 grams of carbs for the day, I believe. 3,400 calories. Obviously I'll throw it all up at the end of the video. But yeah, it's a good amount of food, man, and this meal is nice. To be fair, sometimes I just sit there and I think to myself, it's pretty sick that I get to eat 5 meals a day and not get fat and stay shredded and build muscle, right? Like all of these lads eating 3 meals a day, but it's like a meal deal with a bunch of fat, bunch of calories, processed food, doesn't do anything good, and then maybe like a protein shake or something like that, and like protein bars in between. Fuck that. Get some real food in. Come here. Get some real food in. Come here. And you'll get fucking jacked. That's basically the protocol. But yeah, again, gonna sit here, watch some YouTube, eat this, and I'll catch you in the last and final meal, best meal of the day. Now, it is time for the final and arguably one of my favorite meals of the day, which is oats. So the strat with oats is put them in the microwave with water, obviously, take them out of the microwave, put some stevia in it, which is like a calorie-free sweetener, some cinnamon, put it in the fridge so that it cools down, and then you've got like a, hopefully that doesn't just slide out of the bowl. Oat cake, bro, it's unbelievable. Okay, it's the best way to do it if you haven't been doing your oats that way. And then we get 140 grams of apple on top of here as well. So I'll just chop this up quick time. I think I've got some in the fridge already as well from when I last chopped up apple, because again, if you're not being accurate with the food, boys, you're gonna get fat. It's all well and good talking about these insulin sensitivity tips, but you've also got to not eat just too much food for what your body requires. Otherwise you will get fat. My handy dandy apple storer. Right, there we go, 140 done. And then whey drip of choice, we're gonna go with carrot cake. Perform the goat. So we get 40 grams, no, 50 goddamn gram. And then we actually get some dark chocolate on this as well, it's goated. All right, now look at this for a whey drip, boys. Piss off. Cortisol lowered, protein intaken. Intaken, is that a word? I don't know. But yeah, I'll always recommend to my clients as well, get a decent amount of carbs in pre-bed, not like right before you go to bed. You want it to digest, obviously, get a little digestion walk in if you can. You want your cortisol to be nice and low before you go to bed. And then, like I said, some lovely 85% dark chocolate for the healthy fats to help those carbs slowly release pre-bed. Don't really want to be spiking your blood glucose all the time throughout the day. You do want to really keep that to post-workout, and then around that you want some healthy fats in there in order to sort of level out your blood glucose. mean they can digest slower, get released into your bloodstream slower, less of a big rush of insulin, more slow and steady wins the race. Final meal, there we have it. Beautiful bowl of pretty much dessert, bro. That's my life. Eat a bunch of food, get fucking jacked, stay lean. Oh God, it looks good, doesn't it? So yeah, I am stoked to tuck into this one. It's heavy as well, it's dense. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up the full day of eating / insulin sensitivity protocol in order to mean that you can build muscle while staying lean, because you don't want to get fat. It will take away from your confidence, it will take away from your productivity in a muscle building phase. There is going to be an element of gaining some body fat. That is not what I'm saying here, boys, okay? But it is about minimizing that as much as possible, because it ties directly into being able to shuttle more of what we want into the muscle, okay? So hopefully you've enjoyed that video. Of course, any questions, hit me in the comments. And other than that, like, subscribe, stay tuned for the next ones. I'm covering all the topics in regards to you achieving your dream physique at the moment, okay? And as I slowly push into my growth phase, obviously I'll be documenting the journey as well, and everything to do with Project Relentless, okay? So yeah, drop a subscribe, head over to my Instagram at SBFit with 3 T's if you want this kind of content every single day, multiple posts every single damn day, free game. Also, total macros will be on the screen somewhere, so you can see the 3,400 calorie day worth of food. Lots of love, boys. Catch you in the next one.